shortly thereafter. So when she wasn't looking, we climbed up into the attic and we were, rummaging all around. We found this big box that had these old phonograph records. And there was one in particular that was sort of this red clay kind of type, very thick. And written on the label was Kathleen Conway, which is my mom's maiden name. And underneath it said, "Oh Holy Night," the Christmas Carol. So we rushed down and we put the thing on our little children's phonograph, and we just encircled the speaker. And I remember listening to the first time, and we put the needle on the record. Anybody here remember what a record is? Maybe and so it's circling, and we just couldn't believe that our mom, before she decided to have 8 kids, was an opera singer, a genuine opera singer. We couldn't believe that the woman who hollered at us to come to dinner belonged to this voice, and so we just played the grooves off this thing. And I remember as a kid, and it carried into my adult life, was one line that became something of a mantra. "Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till he appeared, and the soul felt its worth." And yeah, it's about Jesus, and yeah, it's about Christmas. But how is it not the job description of everybody in this room? It's about appearing, and the soul feels its worth. Exactly what God had in mind. I remember there was a homie I knew years and years ago in the projects in Aliso Village. Everybody called him Bandit, and he was a bandit. I mean, he was just incredible, into selling drugs, running up to cars in those days, selling crack cocaine, impervious to all my offers of help. "Oh no, I'm okay, gee, thanks." He didn't want a job, didn't want anything. In and out of being locked up, into his gang. Until one day, 15 years ago, Bandit shows up in my office, and and I couldn't believe he was there. And I said, "Yes, milagro." And then I said, "Why are you here?" He said, "I'm tired of being tired." So I walked him to one of the job developers, and as luck would have it, they find him a job right away. Warehouse, entry level, unskilled, low pay, your first job. And now, cut to today. Bandit runs the place. He is the supervisor of the entire warehouse. He makes good money. He's married, has 3 kids, owns his own home. And I hadn't heard from him in a long time. And on a Friday afternoon, he calls me late Friday, kind of breathless and a little bit panicky. And when you don't hear from, no news is good news, usually with gang members. But he calls me, and I hadn't heard from him for a while. And he says, "Hey, Gene, you gotta bless my daughter." I said, "Hey, ¿qué pasó? Is she sick? Is she in the hospital?" "Oh, no, on Sunday. She's going to Humboldt College." Imagine, my oldest, my Jessica. She's going to Humboldt College, but it's way up north. And it's far. And she's a little chaparrita, and I don't know. Could you give her like a bendición, before she goes? I go, "Mijo, I'd be honored to." Well, see, tomorrow Saturday, 1 o'clock, I have baptism. Why don't you guys come at 12:30? We'll do a little send-off. And so, sure enough, they show up right at 12:30, and there's Bandit and his wife, and Jessica and the 2 other kids. And so I said, "Well, let's stand in front of the altar, and let's put Jessica in the middle. Let's encircle her." So everybody encircles her, and everybody, I said, "Let's touch her." Everybody connect to her. Arm, shoulder, head. Everybody touch her. Okay, so, bow your heads, I tell them, and close your eyes. And as the homies say, I do a long-ass prayer, and I just go on and on and on. And somewhere in the middle of this long-ass prayer, I'm noticing that everybody's become chillones, as we say in Spanish. They're crying. Everybody's sniffling. And I don't know why we're crying exactly, except for the fact that Bandit and his wife don't know anybody who's ever gone to college except me. Certainly nobody in their families. And so, I wipe away my tears, and we all kind of laugh about how mushy we got. And I look at Jessica. "So, what are you going to study at Humboldt College?" She was very quick. "Forensic psychology." I go, "Damn, forensic psychology." And Bandit chimes in, "Yeah, she wants to study the criminal mind." looks at her father and she does one of these, you know. And he sees her and gets it. Yeah, I'm going to be her first subject. So we go out to the car, we pick up abrazos, and they get in the car. And we say goodbye. But Bandit hangs back, and I said, hey, mijo, ¿sabes qué? Te digo una cosa. I give you credit for the man you've chosen to become, for choosing to walk in your own footsteps. I'm proud of you. And his eyes filled up with tears, and he says, ¿Sabes qué? I'm proud of myself. All my life, people called me a lowlife. A bueno para nada, I'm good for nothing. I guess I showed them. I said, yeah, I guess you did. And the soul feels its worth.